like they're trying to. He's like, all right, he's gonna go. Here's gonna go. Here's gonna. Oh, come on, man! I know you want some pizza. Chill. They have a connection. And they mess it up by thinking about Korean. That was the silliest clap I've ever seen in my life. Oh, your seal clap. That was it.
It was a silliest clap.
The seal clap. The rainy traditional seal clap.
All right.
Will Team RMS? Will they be able to take on the? What was
team
the Cocoon team?
Gross.
That's disgusting.
You're gross.
So in the flesh, if you've never watched him play, he uses his veil like candy.
Yeah.
His
He's
EX
popping
stealth.
them like a fat kid at a candy store.
I'm pretty sure he actually has rebinded his EX stealth to just the standard stealth button. I think he can't stealth normally. If he has energy, it's just an immediate EX. I think he just rebinded it. I'm pretty sure. If he has energy, I've never seen him stealth without using it. But it's fantastic, especially against these aggressive dudes. Repo so ninjas come in so strong, he's got to. Because then he can still land some snipes off. They can't get rid of the snipe. He has orb control. It's great.
In the flesh has to be careful when he pops that, though. I think he needs to use snipe in trickier scenarios instead of always when he uses the veil, because Ninjas has a good read on it and will always try to go for that Petrify. And there we see it again. Oh, but this time the Petrify was enough. The weekend gets applied late.
Oh, the counter gets procced. Be careful, there's an in-cap.
There's the setup.
Oh, and there's the follow with the Petrify.
Oh, nice fear out. We'll be able to avoid.
Oh. No, Ninjas!
Why?
Come back!
Stop!
Must be a little bit of a problem on Ninja's side.
Ninjas got feared so hard that his internet disconnected.
Oh no.
He got so scared he just like shoved the modem out of the window and was like, oh my god!
That would actually be great, like if the panic, okay, if you're gonna put yourself in this game for half a second, panic in this is like you're genuinely so scared for your life that you temporarily just run away.
Yep.
Like you know you're fighting for your life. You're
at a higher speed than you normally run.
That's true. You're in a battle arena where you know you have to fight to survive, and something has scared you so much, you abandon everything. You abandon all hope and run away. So I imagine he's like, what if you could connect to your character and just for half a second you're like you get panicked, you're like, oh god, oh, okay, we're good. Like, you just get terrified for like 2 seconds, and you just start to like run in opposite direction.
Sirius was probably playing with VR. Ninjas was probably playing with VR, and the thing just went, the panic flash right at him, and it was just like, ah! It's like broke his setup.
Oh, that would suck. That's my fear of VR if I'm playing too close to my monitor.
Have you tried VR? Oh yeah, of course you have.
Of course we have. We tried it together.
That's right.
We got some here.
It was really fun.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I don't know if I would buy it.
Oh, we're getting in, folks.
Oh my god, hold on.
Back. Oh,
wait, what's going to happen?
Oh, in the flesh. Oh. Okay, well, I'm assuming we're going to get... Oh, no, 3-0. Looks like they take a Team RMS.
All right.
Map number 1. That's a joke, guys.
I predicted 3-0,
I'm
but
joking.
the wrong way around.
I'm joking. All right, we're gonna figure out what's going on. We're gonna figure out what happened. Some kind of complication. We'll see what the players agree to. Luckily, nothing really happened. No one was able to take anything down. So
yeah, and it's really hard to argue which team had the advantage as well. Always a tricky situation. Disconnects just suck. They just suck. We are remaking the game, and we are going to do something with it. I don't know what the points distribution is going to be. It's very difficult to say I was ahead, or no, I was ahead, or I was behind. No idea, no clue.
No idea. And since I think no rounds have been won, it's probably safe to say we can restart, but that'll be up to our admin. We'll let you know what he decides. In the meantime...
That would have been the quickest win in the history of BattleRekt. Just straight up 3-0, done. Landed one panic flask.
It's looking like Ninjas is back. It's back, folks. We're in lobby. They're going to, I'm assuming, do the champ picks real quick. We're going to get right back into it. Everybody calm down. Calm down. Finish eating your corn dogs, whatever you have at home. We're going to get back into the game.
I'm hungry.
I don't actually like corn dogs.
You don't like corn dogs?
You can hate me if you want, but I'm not a big fan of corn dogs.
I can only enjoy corn dogs if there's mustard and ketchup on it.
Yeah, that's even grosser.
What?
Yeah.
You don't like mustard or ketchup? You don't like umami?
What?
Umami.
What's umami?
It's the 5th flavor?
In ketchup?
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and we're just going to get
I'm sure
this.
Twitch chat knows what I'm talking about.
Well, if you know, hopefully someone does, because if not, you sound insane.
Umami.
We're going to get this started again.
All right.
Legendary Team RMS, can they do it? Oh, and the Flesh just has the space out of that.
Oh, nice dodge on the spear. That could have been real bad if what you still landed that. In the Flesh had no blast vault.
This kind of will be coming out soon. He's got to be careful. There
oh,
it is.
The disabling shot goes in.
The immaterial, though, and he will. Oh, just dodges the snipe on ninjas. He knew that kind of was coming up. They can hear it coming from a mile away. The in-cap, though. Vareem's got to be careful. He's taking a lot of damage. He will roll out of that in the silence on Reap What You Sow, but now they're going to go in. There's the fail. Oh, but it will count. Who are you supposed to go for? They both countered.
The snapshot was spent and it's gonna whiff, and In the Flesh actually is having a hard time putting damage back onto his opponents. He knows that the counter is down, but stopped his left mouse button anyways. The reflex was there, but it was not the right response.
Gotta be careful. They have to save. That was close. Oh, man.
Oh!
Another one. There it is. The immaterial. The stun. There's
watch the whirling blade. It's coming.
It's coming up. You know, Lucy can't do much. She does have enough energy for the roll, though, and she's in.
Oh, look at awkward.
Push just as it started, and then stunned out of it, and there's another fail. Doing a
Team RMS. Oh my God, that was sick.
This is absolutely phenomenal. Being able to deal with this high-pressure team, using that fail so
side to side, side to side. Oh, he
like
takes
an alligator. They can't see on the sides of their eyes.
Wait, is that true?
I think you're supposed to strafe.
I didn't subscribe to Animal Facts, man.
I used to live in Florida. They're all over the place. I'm pretty sure you just strafe.
What's the difference between an alligator and a crocodile?
The saltwater, freshwater. Now shut up.
What the hell? You got super aggressive.
I'm sorry. Will Ninjas be able to pull this off? I do not know. He does get the weekend. Oh, the ultimate, though. Got to be careful. Oh, no. Nope. That's it for him.
Nice from Team RMS. I loved how they closed it out. They played the situation out so well. One of the things that happens traditionally in Team RMS against Legendary, specifically In the Flesh versus Reap What You Sow, is there's such a high percentage of hitting into counters when In the Flesh goes for the scatter shot, goes for the junk shot. The knockback on it, very often, Reap What You Sow makes a perfect read and is able to counter that. That time, the read was perfect for In the Flesh. The instant Whirling Blade came out, he knocked them back and completely negated that. And the best part is, he lined up the snipe as well, and just stopped that Whirling Blade completely and did a ton of damage to Reap What You Sow. It was such a great round. The Veils were on time. The Panic Flash was sick from Vareem, and they take the first round.
Who would think that staying grouped up would actually help? But he's able to get that Veil on both of them, protect him and his ally. So he's got to get nice and close to Vareem. The Panic will come out. Will they land a snipe as well?
Oh.
Material, though, he gets ninjas instead. Right through an ally. Not able to actually bail out of that one. It's going to look like Vareem's going to take a bit of damage. Reap What You Sow coming in. There's the Material. Oh, he baited out the counter with a snipe. Now he's going to go for the orb. And he does get it. In the Flesh is going to get that orb.
Nice. In the Flesh will be able to pick up the orb, gets petrified up, and now Vareem is alone against two. Will use Fear on one, uses the roll out of the other. Oh, nice, and Ninjas was impatient that time, and he loses the charge shot, silence up his Reap What You Sow, and Vareem is going to Clarity Potion to get out of that scenario. Petrify will land on In the Flesh, and now, again, Vareem is alone. Here they come!
Oh, there's the damage, but the Immaterial will come out again and save him.
Crippling Goo is his thing!
He's got to be careful, though. He wants to save it for that roll. The orb again, sniped out by In the Flesh. Such strong control. Now the ultimate. Oh, no, the ultimate might take out Lucy first, and she will go down now. It's 2-on-1 In the Flesh. You're alone, buddy. Oh, no. And you're dead also.
I think they played out the situation in a really awkward manner. Vareem got isolated one too many times. You're racing with Shifu Sirius. When you're facing against Shifu Sirius, it's all about how many times you can push the two characters away and how many times they will reinitiate onto you. You need to make them spend a ton of health for reinitiating. Every time you break away from them, every time Vareem was able to get away and In the Flesh got out of CC, they needed to make sure they did a lot of damage before Reap What You Sow and Ninjas were able to reconnect. And that just wasn't the case. Vareem tried to do something big, and I think In the Flesh popped Veil a few times, but counters were up, cooldowns were up for snipes, and they could not convert that into damage in health. And that really hurt them because eventually they just caught up to Vareem and he just took too much chip damage. Oh, nice there. And this is a big opening. Will Disabling Shot land? There's the Veil.
Come out, he does get weakened, but the spell block, and now take a look at it. Just going to M1 through Ninjas, but there's the end cap, followed by a Petrify.
Nice Clarity Potion.
What a Clarity Potion to get them out of it just as it happens. Now Vareem has to be careful, and that orb is going again to Team RMS.
The counter will get procced. That's another charge shot. Nice Disabling will stop Ninjas from it, and he's exposed. There's no counter. He has to use his space. In the Flesh is the one that gets petrified again.
Panic.
But there still is the Veil available. Nice.
Comes out a little bit too early. Oh, and then he hits the counter. He's got to be careful. There is no Veil now. He's just going to take a lot of damage here. The end cap on one. Bream has to be careful. They did get an orb as well. They have a lot of energy. He will get weakened. He has to use the barrier on himself, and the flesh goes out. The Veil is probably back off cooldown now, so we can protect them just a little bit longer. There's the counter. There's the Veil.
Right now, Team RMS needs to be very careful about ultimate pops. Reap what you saw as a full stick of butter, and that's going to be what the big danger is. Watch out for the whirling blade. It's coming. He tries to use a pushback, and this time it's a little bit early, so there was no opportunity to counter it. Good play from In the Flesh. Did not want to have to deal with that mind game at all.
He got it. In the Flesh got it with a bunch of M1s.
That's really important because if Ninjas gets a full stick of butter as well, that spells. Oh, Vareem could die here. There's the ultimate. You need to roll. He does, but it's a little late. Get out of the way. Gets the candy.
Oh, there's the weaken. Can he get the R? And Ninjas was unable to do it. The material comes out. The counter gets.
Oh, this could be real bad for a Legendary right now. In the Flesh has an opportunity. He whips the snipe. That's huge. The crippling goo. There's no mobility. The counter is what's coming up next. There it is.
Push back in. The counter.
Nice patience.
Will he get out? He is just able to heal himself now. In the Flesh has to be careful. Reap what you saw hunting him down while Ninjas gets the orb.
The positioning is awkward, and Legendaries makes the correct decision to back away, secure center map control, and get the orb. And right now, they're still very in danger of dying. Team RMS's counter does get baited. Blast Vault is going to be very key right now. It's going to be Veil into Blast Vault. No, the Blast Vault gets spent, and Lucy's dead. You got to Veil first, buddy.
There it is. Baiting out the counter. Going to try and get a snipe while he can. There's the whirling blade. Reap what you sow will take him out. They are now 2 rounds up. Team RMS doing a fantastic job. But it seems like Legendary is now starting to use their cooldowns in different succession. We now see that Petrify coming out after the Veil instead of before, forcing them to, you know. And that's interesting. He's using it as an initiator now. I just talked about how he didn't earlier, but now he's using it to force Jade to make the jump so that then they can engage.
The big thing is Blast Vault is a big cooldown for In the Flesh, especially because he got that BattleRekt. If he uses it in a bad way, if he whips it, if he doesn't get the stun on it, he's actually losing a lot of effectiveness. That skill goes on cooldown, and he both can't peel, and he can't actually initiate damage off the stun. And you can do very interesting things like Blast Vault. If you hit 2, Vareem panics 1, and then you go on the other. Or you stun 2, and then Vareem lands a Petrifying Bolt on both of them. There's so many ways that you can use Blast Vault. It's a huge cooldown for In the Flesh, and he needs to make sure every time he pops it, it's incredibly effective. And so baiting out that cooldown is more than just getting rid of the defensive option for In the Flesh. It's getting rid of an aggressive option.
A lot of cooldowns right off the bat. Reap just going in and no hesitation. But you see a jump out In the Flesh, even though there wasn't a whole lot of pressure coming on Vareem. Does get the push out, the immaterial to get out of that snipe.
Oh my God!
The Veil has to come out soon. There it is, but it might be a little bit too late. Vareem now down to 45 health.
Run!
Just gets melted down.
He's got candy, but it's not gonna. Oh, he dodges the impale, and that's big. Gets a panic. He's nearly done. He needs to strafe left and right. Do not get hit by a spear. Middle orb will go to Legendary. Right now, there's a lot of butter on the side of Team RMS, and they could make a cross kill happen if Legendary goes in a bit too aggressive.
Oh my. Like some freshly mined ore, he gets melted down.
Oh God. I was wrong. It was a 3-1 victory. It wasn't 3-2.
It's a 3-2. You were close. Honestly, it could have been a 3-2. Those rounds have that one moment where that tiny outplay happens, the tiny cooldown, just a few seconds off. Fantastic play from Team RMS, though. One of the few teams I think that's done a good job of dealing with this counter, especially considering if you told me the matchups, I'd have been like, there's no way Jade and Lucy can do this. There's absolutely no way. But using that Veil at the perfect timing to try and utilize it on the cooldowns, doing a great job of just kind of negating as much damage as possible, trying to make them use their cooldowns, land as many snipes, pull out all the counters. It's great, man. God, I'm having some problems, some breathing issues.
I have to imagine, if I'm trying to think of what you can do to turn this matchup around, I think In the Flesh and Vareem need to find the opportunity to be a little more aggressive. The big problem here is In the Flesh is the one doing most of the damage, and Vareem is spending all his time running away, which makes sense, right? Because Shifu series is so aggressive, and you lose a ton of health, and we saw how much health Vareem lost when they get connected on them, and so you think very naturally, hey, I need to spend all my time running away, because if I don't, I'll get caught up on and I take a ton of damage. But in many ways, I think even more so because they do so much damage, you actually need to play perhaps a little less defensively, because you need to make sure that every single opening you get, every time a disabling shot lands, every time a blast vault lands, every time you get any kind of opening, you need to take maximum advantage of it, because if not, the next time they connect on you, you're just losing a chunk of your health again. And it doesn't matter how much you run, it's inevitable. It's going to happen, right? So you need to be able to use your sustain to hold you over, tide you over, and then do enough damage to actually overcome that race, and just make sure that that sustain is just enough so that you make the kill first. And I think one of the big things that's a real big problem is Vareem keeps running away, and leaving In the Flesh to be the only one to do damage. Every time he lines up a snipe, he has to juke. He has to respect the counters. He has to figure out what the priority target is. It's either going to be the counter from Shifu, or it's going to be the immaterial from Shifu, so that's 2, or it's going to be the counter from Sirius, or the space from Sirius, that's another 2. How much time do you have? You have 4 cooldowns to have to blow through to make sure that you land damage. It's just too much for one person to do. And I think in many ways, it needs to be the cooperation between Vareem and In the Flesh going on the aggressive front to be able to make that happen. Is that actually possible? I have no idea. I don't know the limits of these characters, and I certainly don't know them as well as Team RMS does. But I feel like that's the only way to make it work. Otherwise, In the Flesh is literally in this world where he's stuck lining up snipe and then canceling it, and then by the time he lines up a second snipe, that's what? Already some 3 seconds gone, and then maybe cooldowns are up again. Maybe the situation doesn't arise where he can land a snipe or he gets petrified out. That's a lot of time in BattleRekt.
Yeah, it is. Now, you mentioned something about Vareem trying to separate, so let's take a look at a replay of what happens when he's not able to be near Jade for that immaterial. The moment that he can't get the Veil, Jade jumps up top. She actually has no energy for this. She's just going to get completely slaughtered, just nuked.
Oh, no. And Shifu Sirius is going to demonstrate how much damage they look at that 4-charge weapon. Oh, God. Oh!
Just pushed against the wall. My voice can't handle this, apparently. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, by the time
immaterial comes a little bit too late. Look at that, just a second too late, but it's too late. All that max damage gets completely put down on poor Lucy. Vareem tries to get away, and it's just,
oh
look at
my
that.
God, and the Impale on the level 4 weapon charge, just hitting at the tippy tip. And more trouble for Vareem. It's so rough. I mean, Lucy, one of the lower mobility supports out there against Shifu, tough time. And I think in many ways that's one of the reasons why Shifu is so popular right now, because Lucy is very popular, right? It's kind of the natural order of the world.
And you know, you mentioned a lot about how if you're forced to run away a lot, you're not going to be able to turn around and capitalize on damage. But what I think the Veil does is it allows a comp that would normally need to run from a pair like this to stand their ground and be able to deal damage unadulterated. They're not getting contested, they're not getting in the way, and they're able to put the damage out because they're immaterial. You can't interrupt them, you can't stop them. But as you said, they have to worry about the counters, the immaterials, and the spacebar to make sure they can dodge it. And we started seeing In the Flesh using his snipe. It sucks. He has to use 25% energy just to Veil, and then use a snipe just to bait out a counter. And then he can maybe get a snipe after that, but then he still has to tank a little bit of damage. He knows he's going to get hit while he's doing so. But let's get into map number 2. See who can take this one down. Legendary takes map number 1. Team RMS seem like they've got a lot of life in them, though. They're definitely not going to go down easy. On his present, his creepy little present In the Flesh, forced to use his space. Reaper Juso is going to turn targets immediately while Ninjas gets that space bar in on Lucy. M2, now we're going to see In the Flesh take a good bit of damage. He does try and get a snipe, but he gets in-capped just before the snipe goes out, and then followed by an M2 at the last second. The immaterial comes out. The snipe, there's one counter, but he gets petrified at the end of the immaterial. Vareem now is going to take a whole lot of damage.
I mean, really look at how many opportunities In the Flesh has been able to get any kind of big damage in. Both times he tried to go for the snipe, was interrupted, and if he went for left clicks, okay, sure, he can do 24 damage at a time. That's like a deadly injection from Lucy. Is that really worth it? Can you raise damage in the way that Shifu Sirius can? And I don't think the answer is yes.
This time, look like they struggled a little bit to try and get that burst damage off. They brought Ninjas down, or sorry, Reaper Juso a little bit down, but Ninja's still at half health. And he does have heals as well, so it would have been really tough to get any more on that.
It was an incapacitate, it was an immaterial, and then it was a petrify. 3 times did In the Flesh get rejected. And then when he finally used the 4 snipe, he did happen to hit Ninjas with the end of the range, but Vareem was already down to 25% health when that happened.
Another thing I find interesting is that In the Flesh is always using his space to get out of that initial petrify. Maybe potentially to alter that up, to kind of mess with them, have Vareem Clarity Potion it instead. The only problem with that is then he's left a little in the open. And
he doesn't have the clarity for the weaken. I think the best way for In the Flesh to approach is probably not to use his left clicks, because that slows him down. And just WSAD out of it, and there we see it. So he has the spacebar available, but Vareem needs to reconnect with them to be able for In the Flesh to peel.
There's the weaken on Jade. She's going to do a little bit of damage, and there's the double in cap. They're just going to go on Vareem.
There it is. That's a stun that peels.
Oh, he had immaterial out of that one, but well timed.
Panic
He's actually going to get a lot of damage.
And they would be able to put damage out onto Ninjas. Actually, the counter is baited out, and In the Flesh can actually bait out the snipe here. Gonna use a snapshot, and that's a real good choice, I think. Ninjas gets put down to half.
By the petrify.
Nice.
Immaterial, they're going to try and bait a counter out, and they do, but Ninjas is going to use it actually to escape and heal up. But the panic and the root.
Nice splash fall to stop the Whirling Blade, and now Vareem needs to run. Uses Clarity Potion on Weaken, but I actually think that was a little bit of a mistake because he had to run anyways, could not heal.
They're going to get this orb. They're going to use all this time to get the orb. They didn't deal much damage on them, though, so there's a chance. Oh, no, but the counter gets procced. There's an immaterial just to save themselves from damage. But that was a reactive immaterial. They couldn't use it aggressively. Now they're going to get hunted down.
Disabling shot is down as well. This is the time for a counterattack, and that's what I was talking about. I think at this point, Vareem needs to go for the all-in. I don't know if he can survive much longer. Blastfall onto Reap What You Sow is going to stun him up a bit.
Oh, there is the immaterial, though, getting out of that ultimate damage, and the barrier is going to protect Lucy even more so. Will they be able to pull more on Ninjas? Try to bait out the counter. He cancels it. Flicks it around. Oh! What a fantastic read, knowing the flick was coming. Will Vareem get out of this? No, he will not. The silence in the flesh does grab that.
Oh no, he's just shooting every which way, but there's nobody available. Knock knock, who's home? Nobody is. Reap What You Sow and Ninjas, I really like that. So one of the things there is Vareem pushed all in, and I think it did buy them some time. The fact that the crippling goo came down, Ninjas had to use mobility defensively, and that put him out of the fight for a little while. And then Vareem and In the Flesh could turn around and 2v1 Reap What You Sow, and that dissuaded Reap What You Sow from going in ham immediately. And that actually bought some time, bought some breathing room for Vareem. And that was all off kind of a risk. Vareem said, hey, you know, if I don't do this, I have no more options. I have to use all my resources here. And knows that he's not going to have Swift Roll after that. But the fact that he spends it and the aggression that they could have potentially put up made Reap What You Sow and Ninjas respect them just a little bit. And that might be the key here.
Oh man, the end cap on Jade, leaving Lucy all alone yet again with a silence on Reap. They're going to be able to get some M1s in. Got to be careful. There's the material.
Oh no, the snipe misses. A key opportunity there for In the Flesh, and that's real tough. Every single snipe needs to be on point.
But also, if it is, you're probably going to proc something, which is the terrifying part. We've seen a lot of times. If you just watch how he tries to snipe, but no, they actually do snag that orb. It's going to give him a little bit of
nice use of the disabling shot, and will stun up Ninjas. Will hit the counter, but Ninjas chooses to go defensively, gets the candy instead, and that's going to deny Vareem a little bit of healing.
Tasty, tasty candy. There it is.
Oh, uses the disable. Oh,
be careful though. There's no more now. The barrier comes out. The panic.
Oh, nice panic flash. Here's the crippling goo. That's huge.
Stunned in. That might be it. Oh, but the counter just timed enough. But he
nice.
Right
the
back.
blast fall. That's what we're talking about. That's the aggression that we need. And In the Flesh and Vareem make it work. Using all their cooldowns very effectively. The Clarity Potion, the Snipe to put that mini stun up there, and then the Blast Fall to close it all out.
I love it. The sun fades.
He leaves even a little orb, a little star.
The sun fades.
Look at Vareem's score there. 548 damage, or rather 458, sorry.
It's actually pretty nuts. Look at that. Vareem actually topped all 3 categories.
That's
how in the crap did he pull that off?
That is like when you're put under pressure, you go into Omega mode, and I feel like that's what Vareem needs to do in this matchup. He needs to go bananas.
45% of that was Toxic Bolt. 26% was Crippling Goo. He dealt 118 total damage with his one ultimate.
The cleave on both the characters, Reap What You Sow and Ninjas, as well as putting Reap What You Sow in it for a long duration of time. Again, the left click is risky because then you get petrified because you're slowed up. Oh, he went for the gavel.
Oh, he tried to time it, but he just couldn't. Maybe Blast Fault to get the mini stun. He does get it on 1, but now Vareem's going to take a lot of damage. You have to be careful. Ninjas actually gets the R on the both of them. Who's going to get this orb? Will he? Oh, in-capped. Unable to get the snipe, but they will silence Reap What You Sow right in his face. The weaken on Jade. She now has to be careful.
Oh, they doubled up on cooldowns. The barrier was spent as well as the EX stealth, and they need to avoid damage here. Oh no, Vareem is about to take the huge brunt of it. He needs to kite away. The weaken goes on Jade, and that's actually real good. And let's see if Vareem can turn it around here. This is the opportunity to do so. Immaterial gets spent. There's a snipe on the panic Ninjas.
Oh, the counter's out too. Gotta be careful. Once he uses that space, Vareem might want to use the ultimate if he has it. Oh no, be careful. Pushed away with the Clarity Potion. The snipe will come out of Reap What You Sow. He does get it. He tries to M2 out of it, but take a look at
Vareem. Oh, and the impale. And it's looking bad for In the Flesh. He might fall here. And there it is. 3-1. 2 3-1s, and my prediction got absolutely smashed. The only thing that was correct was 2-0. Reap What You Sow and Ninjas close out the kill and make the win happen. There's still a lot for In the Flesh and Vareem to work out, but I think they're losing just based on kind of a... I do think it is a tough matchup. I do think it is a very tough matchup for Jade Lucy, but I think that there is a path that In Flesh and Vareem can take. The fact that they took a round apiece demonstrates, and I don't think that stemmed from, I mean, obviously I feel like Reap What You Sow and Ninjas probably did not play as well as they did in those particular rounds that they lost. But I do think that was off the back of In the Flesh and Vareem doing very well in those particular rounds. So there is a way, I think, for them to win.